Now to Oscar winner Nicole Kidman and Oscar nominee Lucas Hedges. They star in the new movie. It's called Boy Erased.
And it's based on the true story about a teen coming to terms with his own sexuality who's sent to a gay conversion program. And it's about his mother who comes to accept her son for who he is.
Those men decided what to do with you, and I fell into line like I usually do. They say sometimes you gotta hurt a child in order to help them, and that may be so with some things, but a mother knows when something isn't right.
Look at you two. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Lucas. Hi, Nicole. How are you? What was your reaction right there when you were watching that little clip?
She's just killing it.
She's killing it.
She's always killing it.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, she was killing it that whole day.
This is
He's
based.
a good son.
This is based on a true story, a book. You guys have met the actual characters. I mean, does that does it make it a little more daunting when you're telling a story, knowing who it's based on?
Yeah, I think definitely I fell in love with Garrett's voice in the book. So when I got to meet him, we actually had a connection, and that I was like, okay, wow, I can be of service to him and tell his story. I was like, okay, we're doing this.
I saw the movie, and what struck me, besides your excellence every day, and yours too, just like Lucas said, I mean, they in all seriousness, they're amazing performances, is that this is a controversial subject, but I thought that it was handled with such care, and there weren't any easy villains. And I thought that was quite a feat, given the subject matter.
Well, you're telling the story of a very compassionate family, and the relationship between the mother and the son is so beautiful, and you really see that. And the love,
father and son's relationship is as well.
And complicated, and so I think it delves into the complication of it, but it also delves into it with love. You know, and this family is not fractured. I mean, they're a family.
You recently wrote an article for New York Magazine, the Women in Power issue. There were some interesting things in there. One of the things you wrote surprised me. You said...
I didn't write it. I was interviewed.
Oh, okay. You said. Okay, right. One of the things you said
I've got to be very precise here.
I'm with you. You're my kind of gal. You tell the writer, I still don't have a lot of power. Do you feel that way?
Well, I ask what
me.
I define power.
Yeah.
Because I think the word power is thrown around. Am I able to be listened to at times? Yes. Am I able to instigate change? Sometimes. I mean, in regards to my own industry, can I get films made? Not all the time.
Right.
Sometimes, and on a particular budget. So do I feel like I have power in the sense of dominance or controlling things? Not at all.
You were very revealing in this article, Nicole, and I remember I was reading it and I said, wow, I don't think I'd ever heard you talk about some of the things you talked about, and one of them was...
It's a good interviewer for you.
No kidding, she was great. You said this, I'm married, talking about Tom Cruise, you said, I'm married for love, but being married to an extremely powerful man kept me from being sexually harassed. I literally stopped reading at that moment and just like had to sit with that for a second.
Well, I mean, that's a very put into one sentence, you know, way in which I was talking. I mean, I'm saying I wasn't, because I was married at 23 years old, I wasn't going to parties or I wasn't going out a lot. I was pretty much at home. I had my first child at 25, and I was I was in a family. So my sense of being in the world was I was working or I was at home.
I see.
Did you think like people
when
were afraid to mess with you, kind of? Because it's like, because he was so powerful? I
think when you're married to a very powerful man, I mean, I'm not in a male's mind, but would you be scared to I mean, anyway. This is all going way off. But I think there's what I say, protection, there is almost like a barrier. A lot of women don't have that. A lot of people in the world don't have that. But I also don't like discussing exes and all of that because I'm married. I'm very happily married. I have 2 little girls. And I feel it's almost disrespectful, one, to Tom and disrespectful to Keith. So I try to stay in the here and now.
Yeah. You're looking at 2 of the biggest Keith Urban fans. Well, you may be the biggest, but we're right behind you. Lucas, let's talk about you. You obviously have this great film coming out. You're also on Broadway.
How is that?
It's really great. I do a lot of direct address, so I talk to the audience. It's really adrenalizing.
Say the name of the play.
Oh, it's called The Waverly Gala.
By the way, I love these side
I know, this is amazing.
So maternal.
You guys click. I love it.
Terrible.
Thank you for coming to see us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Boy Erased from our sister company Focus Features hits theaters on November 2nd.